All right. What's up, my fellow gamers? It's Saltiest Gaming, and we're back with another podcast. This is Dads of Gaming, episode number 2, hitting you live this evening. We're going to wait for people to come into the chat room, let it fill up. Anyway, while we're doing that, let's talk about what we did this week. I'll introduce you guys again. This is we got Shameless Games, right? It's games, right? Shameless Games.
Yeah, Shameless Games. What's up, guys?
And then we got Nick Fury.
What's up? What's up, everybody?
What's good? What's good? All right, well, let's talk about what we did this week briefly, kind of gaming-wise. You want to start off, Nick?
Yeah, man. Pretty much gaming-wise, it's kind of been down. So really, all I've been doing really is playing Warframe. Been playing Warframe a lot, and I've also just been playing like FIFA, Madden, 2K, Overwatch. But as we wait for games to come out in the fall, just kind of been grinding the same games over and over again.
Yeah, I feel you. So what do you think about that Warframe situation?
Warframe is pretty dope. Gotten into it and kind of figuring out how to build things and all the loot and all the Warframe types. It kind of sucks you in, and so now I'm just kind of focusing on that, and it's getting really addicting.
Yeah, it's good. We've been playing that together. It's crazy how much it makes you think about, Destiny and what, they can improve, and this indie team, what they're doing with this game is crazy. Shameless, what have you been up to?
Man, I've just been on Rainbow Six, man. And then that's about it. I mean, trying to get good Rainbow. Then we played Paths of Exiles for a little bit.
How's that Rainbow Six grind? Are you doing competitive or just regular? Or?
Oh, both. We mostly just do casual, but did competitive today for a little bit. I think I'm gold 2 now. So I keep falling from gold 2, gold 3, back and forth. Can't get out of that gold. But it is what it is.
The competitive grind. So you like the regular Siege?
I just like casual. I like going in there and messing around. When I play competitive, man, my palms get sweaty, and my aim kind of gets goes off a little bit. start potatoing a little more.
I feel. So, what draws you into the Siege action? Because you've been playing that for what, a year now?
Forever.
Is it just
for a while. Whenever we stopped playing Destiny, started moving towards Siege. I don't know. I hate to say realism of it, but I like the quote unquote realism of the game. I like the time to kill in the game. I like the teamwork, the callouts. If you have a team, like I've been running with Firelord and some other people, so we've had a full squad lately, and it makes it a whole lot easier when you have callouts and I mean the game is fun. The game's hard. Like the game is difficult. Like you have I understand why people don't like it or don't get into it because it takes a while. Map knowledge is the biggest part of that game. And having a squad, but I like it. I love the call-outs and stuff like that. But it's helped me in other games too. When I do go play something else with call-outs and talking more in other shooters, it helps a lot. So.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, thanks for the input on that.
It helped a lot when we played that Destiny 2 beta. Like everybody was talking, like call-outs were good.
Yeah.
So.
It's crazy once you get into these team shooters and competitive shooters, like how much it helps you into the games like Destiny and stuff that aren't as competitive, even though they're moving towards that model.
Right.
So anyway, what have I been playing? I've been playing what? I've been playing the game that I've been playing for a year, Overwatch. I got myself back into platinum. That shit was a grind for sure. That was a big grind. But Doomfist came out for that game, and I'm loving him.
Doom.
I think I'm gonna be a Doomfist main.
I'm gonna have to get
that
back
dude is
into
crazy.
there and play with you guys. Try it out. I've been Overwatch for a minute.
Yeah. So, other than that, we did frame. That shit's crazy. I mean, I got into the game, and right when it got out, it was like 3 years ago, and the game was just basic. It was like garbage, basically. So I played it for just like everybody else. I think we played it for a little bit, got bored of it, and then just moved on. And then Destiny got dry, and then we stopped playing that. And then I kept hearing more and more about this Warframe. YouTube streamers and Twitch streamers were talking about Warframe, so I was like, hell, I don't have anything to play, so I'll download it again. It just is crazy. I mean, there's a lot of grinding to it. I would compare it mostly to Diablo if I had to compare it to anything, because there's lots of grind in that game. There's lots of loot drops. You got to get components for guns and different Warframes. But I don't know. I'm starting to get it more and more addicted to that, so it's good.
Nice.
So anyway, yeah.
Cool.
So let's get into the topics. So the situation, we all played the Destiny 2 beta. I want to get our impressions from it. Nick, what do you think about the Destiny 2 beta?
The Destiny 2 beta, I mean, they didn't really give us much to play or to do. You know what I mean? I mean, they gave us one strike, 2 maps, 1 competitive map, 1 regular map of control, and that was it. I didn't get to go to the farm, so that's something I missed out on. But other than that, I mean, it was what it was. It was kind of very bare bones, minimum what they could give us, to try out, I guess, just so they could test their connection issues and test the servers and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, it was what it was. I mean, it was. I really enjoyed the PvP aspect. That strike was actually really, really dope. The PvP, I don't know. It's gonna take me a while to get sold on that. I had a hard time adjusting to that.
Typically, stood out to you like that was a big adjustment for you?
Basically, the 4v4, that was different. You could tell they really adjusted the PvP to be more, I guess, what would you say, esports friendly or whatever. I mean, just the, you didn't get your super until pretty much the end of the game to close it out. It's very grenade heavy, it's always been the case in Destiny, but it was pretty bad there. Got to do a lot of team shooting, a lot of call outs. And so it's just different. It felt very Halo-ish to me, which Destiny's always felt Halo, but the Destiny 1 kind of was its own thing. So this one felt very Halo-ish to me. More just more. I mean, I wouldn't say casual because they're built it to be toward competitive gaming, but it felt casual to me. Like it really did. It felt like the Call of Duties and Halos, pretty much.
Yeah, I totally agree. What about you, Seamus? What do you think?
Well, I think it was a huge step down from what we had for the first Destiny 1. The beta for that game was really big. I mean, we got to explore a whole area in the first Destiny. I mean, with this one, it's just like Nick said, it's a little bare bones. Like, I agree with the strike was fun, but the exploration aspect of the game, I don't know. I think they're just trying to keep everything under wraps, but it felt very Destiny 1 though too at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like it felt like a little bit of an expansion.
Yeah.
Maybe a glorified expansion.
Right.
As for the PvP, there were times when I was playing it that I liked it. I was like, this feels good. It feels balanced to me. And then there was times where I'm like, this sucks. Like it's definitely not a PvP you can just go in, by yourself and play with Randy's. It just doesn't work. I don't know. I just don't know how I feel about it. There's parts of the beta I'm like, man, I'm excited to pick up the game and play it and see where it goes. And then part of me are like, is like whatever about it. Like I'm not hyped about it, but
Right.
I don't know.
I'm kind of the same way. I'm not super hyped about it. I say that I'm still on the fence about whether I'm going to purchase it or not, but I'm going to purchase the damn game just because it's Destiny, and you guys will be playing it, and all my other friends will be playing it, so it's going to get bought. But with the release of the beta, playing the PvP, which I hate to put so much focus on PvP, but I mean that's what I like to do is pretty much play PvP. PvE is going to be great. I mean the raids. I feel like the raid's going to be fine. Strike's going to be fine, but for me, kind of like the sell point is going to be the PvP, because after you do all the PvE stuff, what else do you have to do? And so that's really going to kind of be a huge emphasis for me is the PvP.
Well, you're going to have to run the strikes again over and over.
Right. And so I like I said, that PvP just has me worried. It really does. And it's just a personal preference. I don't think it's bad. It's just a personal preference for me.
It's just weird to have Destiny go from 6v6 to 4v4 and then not even having an option for a 6v6.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Well, I hope that. Well, I'm hoping just because it was just Control and then what was that other competitive type where you set the bombs or whatever. I just hope since it's just 2, I hope that there will be more playlists. I mean, I'm going to assume there will be more playlists and maybe it'll be a little bit better. But just the Control and the competitive playlist, it was just, like I said, I had a huge learning curve for me, and it was just really frustrating at times. And other times I had fun, but the majority of the time, frustrating for me.
I hate to just judge the game off a beta, especially a build that was how like 2 or 3 months old.
Right. That's why I'm trying to temper my expectations a little bit.
That's the one reason sometimes I don't like playing betas, because it's not the whole game. Like I don't know what's different from what we played. Like what's changed? What are they changing? What aren't they changing? Are they changing anything? I know they've talked about the secondary ammo drop and heavy dropping more in PvE and stuff like that, but it's just hard to say with the beta sometimes. You just never know.
Yeah, so if I put my input in this, I made lots of different videos on this. I made a video on the PvE, my PvE impressions, the PvP impressions. So the main thing that I want to point out when you guys are talking is that you just aren't really that hyped for this game. And it's true. I mean, if you took the temperature gauge for people's excitement on this game, it would be lukewarm at best, So that's a problem, I think. The Destiny developers talked about retainment and for their player base, and they said that tons of their player base dropped off, and I think that's for a reason. I feel like I came out with a video today talking about HDR and the fact that Destiny 2 is not going to have HDR in it, and that's something that's not acceptable. I mean, if you're saying that this is a new game, you're saying this is Destiny 2. It's not like Destiny 1.5. This isn't the Dark Below, or it's not an expansion. This is Destiny 2. You need to bring Destiny 2. You need to not say, this is just a kind of a morphed version of Destiny 1. And that's the problem, because they're selling it as a new game, and I don't think it necessarily is because of these reasons,
I think they just tried to fix everything that they considered that was wrong with Destiny with the first one, and then made a new game and called it Destiny 2. And like you said, it should be Destiny upgrade 2 point whatever or 1 point whatever, because they tried to basically fix everything they thought was wrong, got input from the community about certain things, and then they put a game out. But then they called it Destiny 2. But like you said, it just feels like expansion, or maybe like these other free to play games put out free upgrades. That's what it feels like.
Yeah. So it's just, am I going to get the game? Of course I'm going to get the game because I'm a social gamer. I play on Xbox because I like the social interaction. We met each other, I met Nick. Me and Shameless were doing a strike, I believe, on Earth, or Nightfall or something, and we met you, and that's the thing. That's why we play on Xbox, and that's why we play Destiny. But I'm worried about it because, I more than anybody else on my friends list had tons, over 1,000 hours in Destiny, and I was knee deep in that game. But Bungie and their practices got me fed up, you know what I'm saying? Like reusing content and, reshaping guns, reskinning everything and having us do the same shit in the same areas over and over, and then having these content droughts. So it's the reason why we're talking about Destiny. It's like we're not talking about other games to this extent is because we're passionate about Destiny and we want it to be good. You know what I'm saying? Because like if we didn't give a shit about this game, no one would talk about it. We would just move on with our lives. But we see potential in Destiny, so we want it to be good. That's why we're talking about these things. So it should be interesting. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what lies ahead in the future, but I do know that Destiny does have competitors that if they don't bring their A game, they might suffer. You know what I'm saying? Because you got BioWare's new game coming out at Anthem. You got, we play Warframe. That has HDR, and it's a free-to-play game, So, like I said, they just need to bring their A game. And I was super impressed with the story aspect of the game.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, it seems like they did focus on the story this time around, because the first game, for whatever reason, whether it's somebody quit or they just weren't, whatever reason, they didn't have a story, that's done. But it seems like they did really want to focus on the cinematic and the story and everything like that, which is great. We actually get a story. We don't have to read Grimoire. If they want to focus on that, they focus on that. But don't call it Destiny 2. You know what I mean? don't call it a new game.
They just, I don't know, that whole thing like a year before the Destiny 1 release where they had to cut out all the story because they backtracked and they didn't want to delay it. That screwed everything up because they had a 10-year plan chopped up. Then they got shit reviews, and then they just had to reshape their plans, with the Taken King. So.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on, let's talk about something that happened to BioWare specifically. I guess they, because of some failures with the one of their games, they're going to be not closing. What did you say, Nick? They're going to go into
merging with Motive Studio. EA has made them merge, and there's BioWare still exists. The main BioWare that's working on Anthem still exists, but the small company that they trusted to do Andromeda, that company is now being forced to merge with Motive Studios. Which pretty much means BioWare Montreal is no more. They messed up pretty much. And so basically the only statement they really have on it is they can say that they have projects and they're merging it with Motive. It's an ongoing process, and they're having, different people coming in and out. So I think, that's just them sugarcoating it to say, well, we got to fire some people and, figure this out. They lost. I mean, I'm not sure if they lost a lot, how much money they lost on it, because I'm pretty sure they racked up pre-orders. I'm one of those pre-orders, so I'm pretty sure they racked up so many pre-orders. But at the same time,
Were you disappointed with the game?
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah. What else can you be? I'm a big fan of Mass Effect, and it was by definition a failure because of the title and because of the franchise. You've had a trilogy that had its issues, but it was still a great trilogy, and then you put this game out that's very ambitious, but it was a failure. So I mean, I haven't finished it yet. I'm gonna force myself to finish it. There's good things about the game, but they messed up, and EA messed up they didn't mess up, but you could tell they put their chips in Anthem, and so they had this other team do it, and they failed. So now they have to shake things up.
Yeah, I was gonna get Mass Effect, but I heard the bad reviews and stuff, and I kind of pulled away from it. So I don't know. It's kind of disappointing to hear, such a storied franchise is kind of getting the shaft,
Right.
So
Let me see here.
I never played any of them, so I really don't have an opinion one way or another. I never could get through them. I don't know. I'm probably in the minority because it's such a big franchise, but I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But that sucks for people that are fans, of the game, and how bad it turned. So.
Oh. Did you guys catch the games with gold lineup that's coming out?
Slime Rancher, and what else was it? Excite Bike.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, I think that games with gold has been struggling since they came out with Games Fest. What do you guys think? It's been like 3 or 4 months that the lineup's been garbage.
Yeah, I haven't. I think about the last 3 months, we've downloaded the games, and I've never even played one of them.
Yeah, dude, I just download the games and they just sit there. There's only so many free games they can give out that are good. You know what I mean? They got to make money somehow, and so there's only so many free games you can give out. And it's just been a lackluster release. But what's there to expect? I rarely really played a bunch of their games with gold. There's sometimes they have some out, and I'm like, oh, it's dope, I'll play that. But other than that, it is what it is. It's just, a way for them to get people to play games, I guess.
I mean, it's a good thing for some people that, just don't have enough, the money to buy games, especially younger kids. A lot of these games are for, Slime Rancher and Trial Fusions. That's more towards the youth kind of games, right?
Yeah.
The kids that don't have money, they get games for free. It keeps people on the platform.
Yeah, usually with the games with gold, I just I start the download and then I just cancel it and put it in my ready to install, and I never touch it.
Pretty much.
So
just to add to the library. Look how many games I have.
That's the status quo.
And I already had Trials Fusion. We got Trials Fusion. I got that way back when it came out. And Slime Rancher, I've seen people play it. I probably won't play it just because I already know what it's like, and I think I've already seen the end game of it, where it's I don't really need to invest time in it. I might try, what is it, Bayonetta? I've never played that game. I heard good things.
Yeah,
I've heard good things about the Bayonetta franchise. Bayonetta 2's on Nintendo only, so I'll probably try that out. But 360 titles in general are getting harder and harder for me to play. I don't know what it is. It's just kind of I guess it's the older titles. I try to go back and the textures are all crappy and stuff like that. But I don't know. It is what it is, right? PlayStation Plus has Just Cause 3. So that's kind of interesting. That's like a $60 AAA plat title. So when you compare it, you I don't know. Xbox kind of slacking.
Yeah, that is one thing I will say that Sony. My friends from Sony, they do get some good free games.
Granted, they don't always get great games. There's months where Xbox has had better games than PlayStation's had for the month, but it's just it's in the end, it's a free game for people, and it's easy to complain that they're, these are Slime Rancher or Trials Fusion, but in the end they're free. I mean,
you remember when we were paying? Remember we were paying for Xbox Live and we didn't get shit. We didn't get games.
I mean, you're getting something. It might not be the best game. It might be like a game you might never play, but in the end, it's something that's free and it's not hurting your pocket. It's not ruining your gaming experience in any way. Sure, PlayStation this month might have a better title, but next month, you know, who knows? Like, Xbox could come out and drop a AAA title, and PlayStation gets, they get Slime Rancher. Who knows?
Yeah, that's an example of how one company influences the other to make things better. PlayStation was the originator games with their membership, and then Xbox caught onto that and they added that to their system or their lineup. So I think that's how we can see that one company. We don't want PlayStation to go out of business because that's bad for business.
Right?
That's why
exactly.
Gamers need to understand this. That you might game on PlayStation, but you don't want Xbox to go out of business because
it creates competition.
It's competition, and that's good for the industry. So anyway, it is what it is. I think, like I said, I don't Slime Rancher. I doubt I'll play it, but have you guys paid? I know none of us have Switches, but I wanted to get into this topic. So Nintendo Switch is selling like hotcakes right now.
You can't even find one.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. I mean, so this is the thing that I want to end the podcast with. So, first of all, I want to talk about the fact that Xbox is moving towards the power genre again. And with Xbox One X, we talked about it in our podcast. We talked about E3. We talked about our excitement levels for the X. But I want to say this, that how are you guys' levels with the Xbox One X? Are you still trying to get one? Or have you cooled on the idea? What do you guys think about it?
I'm not going to get one right away. I mean, my OG Xbox right now is working just fine. But, if it ever craps out on me, I'll buy an Xbox One X. But what's the point until I have a 4K TV or whatnot, or it breaks down. There's no reason for me to go drop $500 on a console when I'm gonna get the same thing anyways with what I got.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Death Mobile real quick. He's in the chat. If you guys could shout him out. Thanks for hanging out,
Death Mobile.
So Nick, what do you think about the X? We're talking power. It's the most powerful console.
What I think about the X, from
where you were to where you are now, I just want your honest opinion.
I've kind of hyped down a little bit. I've kind of calmed down on it, a little bit. I mean, I still plan on getting one. I'm not saying, oh my gosh, I'm not going to get one, and I might get one when it comes out. I may not. I mean, that's where that's truly where I am. I did calm down. I was like, oh man, I got to get this thing and get this thing day one when it comes out. So now it's kind of like, do I really need to have it day one when it comes out? I'm still on the fence. Maybe I'll get one day one. Maybe I'll wait until spring. Just one of those deals.
So Death Mobile pointed out that you don't need a 4K TV to enjoy the enhancements the X brings, and that's true. It's going to download.
I agree.
Download 4K assets. It's going to super sample onto your TV. It's going to make things look better. But the thing that I want to say, and the thing that because I was boom, boom, boom. I'm going to day one this. I'm going to day one the X, and I'm going to get this system. But like as time went on, I kind of thought about it in my head. I'm like, I have a 1080p TV, and I know it can super sample, and make my things look better. But is it something that do I want a 4K TV first, or do I want an Xbox One X? You know what I'm saying? So,
this is something I need. Like, okay, as a father, and as I have, I got a house payment. I got all, I got bills, I got a car payment, I got all this. Do I need an Xbox One X right now? No.
Yeah,
Do I want one?
exa-
Yes, I want one. There's there's a need and a want. Right now, I don't need one. Do I want one? Yes. Will I get one down the road? Yes. But
so that's the thing that I need to point out because I'm trying to walk the fence. I'm going to be straight honest to everybody here in the chat, everybody on the panel. I don't have a PlayStation, but does that mean that I'm an Xbot? Am I a blind fanboy? No, it doesn't. I'm trying to be more and more impartial because I want to be a gamer. I don't want to be known as someone that's blind to things and facts. Okay, so the Microsoft is releasing the Xbox One X, and like I said in a video before, they don't care if you buy an Xbox One X, and that's hard to hear for some people because some people are touting the Xbox One X as the new thing. They might even think it's the next console. It's the next generation. It's not, okay? The Xbox One X is an option for people that want to have, the best textures. They want to have 4K assets. They want to have the power narrative. But Microsoft doesn't care if you have an Xbox One X. They don't care if you have an Xbox One S or an OG Xbox. They care that you're on Xbox Live. They care that you're buying games because they make their money in software.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's where they get their money from.
For me, for example, if Saltiest Gaming is playing on an OG Xbox and he's buying games and he's on Xbox Live, if he upgrades to an Xbox One X, they don't make money off of that hardware. So where are they making their money? They're still getting the same money from me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So if they're targeting the hardcore gamers, that's what I'm trying to say here because we're the hardcore gamers, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, Nick's a hardcore gamer, Shameless is, I am. And none of us are buying. I'm on every day at the same time-ish, and I play for a couple hours a night, every night, pretty much. But I'm not buying it day one. It doesn't mean it's not a good option for some people.
I agree.
But it is what it is. Okay, so it's everybody's choice, and I think it will do well for what it is. And I think over time there will be more adapters, but I don't see it being huge when it launches because right now the adoption rate for 4K televisions isn't that high. It will be in like 2 years. It will be about 50% in 2 years, but it isn't there right now. So anyway, getting back to the Switch situation, because that's what I wanted to talk about. The Switch is killing it. They're not on store shelves. They're not touting power. They're touting games, right? They're touting first-party exclusives.
All their exclusive games that only come out on Nintendo.
Okay.
But that's all Nintendo's ever done, really, is first party. But right.
So that's what I want to talk about. I'm okay with Microsoft going back to the roots and saying, "Hey, we want to be the most powerful console." But what does that mean if you don't have first-party titles that people want to buy, dude? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know people are going to give me shit in this video that I'm talking shit about Xbox, but I'm trying to lay down some truth, okay? I'm trying to be real with people. How many first-party exclusives for you guys have you been super stoked to get or play?
Name one.
I mean, we'll sit here for a while and chat, dude.
Death Mobile, help us in the chat. What?
Death Mobile. I mean, you can help us out, dude. Were you super stoked for Rise? Were you, like, there's Sunset Overdrive, but that was hell a long time ago.
Yeah,
dude.
those are a long time. Was I super stoked for that game? Yes, I was. For Rise, when I saw that game at E3, I knew I was going to play that game. But right now, and I can't even think of one off the top of my head that I'm like, oh, I need that game.
Yo,
I'm not excited for Crackdown. Never even played the other ones.
So here's the deal, okay? So Death Mobile is excited for Crackdown 3. We're not going to hate on that. We're not going to say that that's a bad decision, but Crackdown 3 has been in development years, bro. Years, okay? and they've had their issues. They still haven't shown the multiplayer destruction situation. They showed single player. You know, they say the single player is kind of lackluster to me. I like the way it looks. I like the cell shading. I think it looks pretty. But it's this, you know, it's. Am I like I'm gonna go wait in a line like Disneyland to go get Crackdown 3? I don't think so, dude.
No.
I'm sorry.
Here's another one. Life is Strange. Not on
I
my
don't know.
radar. Not on my
I'm
radar.
sorry, bro. So, and then they shut down. Yo, okay. I would say if I was hyped for any game in this last, year or whatever, Scalebound, dude. I was fucking hyped.
Scalebound.
I was hyped, dude. I wanted to play it.
Yeah, that's not. You're never gonna
And
play
then they shut that down, dude.
Yeah,
Put a
Scalebound
giant
was
X
the
through
one.
it. So, Phil Spencer has been talking. He's been like, "Hey, we're investing $1 billion into first-party games and all this other stuff." Yeah, dude. Honestly, that's it, dude.
I think he said in an interview that there are the games, but he said it'd be pointless to show them because we're 2 or 3 years down the road. And that's good, but not.
I mean,
but that's so long a ways away.
yeah. So then,
You're gonna show them
so
next
then we,
E3? Like, come on. Like, oh man.
So then we talk about PlayStation because that's kind of a scary subject for us. You might be thinking that you can't talk about PlayStation on a podcast full of Xbox people, but they do have first party titles that I personally want to play, and I might even go get a PlayStation to go play them.
Yeah, a buddy of mine just sold his Xbox for that
Spider-Man
reason.
looks tight.
Spider-Man looks tight. It's true.
The new Tomb Raider with mechanical dinosaurs.
Even the older games that I never got to play on PlayStation, all the Uncharted's, The Last of Us, like those are games I want to play.
Yeah, so we've been talking.
Going to play those games.
Oh, I've been thinking about it. I'll probably, cop one on Craigslist or something like a PS4 original for like $100 or something like that, and go play these single player games. But we've talked about it before that Xbox is good for Xbox Live and playing with your friends, but they need to bring games that are like that, like the Halos, like the Gears, and the stuff that we can do online, because that's what separates us from PlayStation. PlayStation has the single player games, and their first party studios are bringing it when it comes to those titles. They don't have any multiplayer games that I know of that are gonna
I mean, all the
sell
games
consoles.
I want to play on Sony are single player games. There's no multiplayer games, no co-op games that I'm like, I want to play that. They're all single player games. They're all story games, and that's it. That's the only reason I get a cheap PlayStation off like Craigslist, like you said. I'm on Xbox because this is a social. To me, it is the social
and more competitive
console out there.
Yeah.
Yep. That's why we all play on here. But we need to see those first party titles. We do.
Right.
Before I hop in, like I said, if PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds is one of the things that's kind of got me on the fence for the Xbox One X, because I know for a fact that you're going to need an X to play that game.
Yeah.
It's probably going to run like dog shit if you try to play it on the OG Xbox. Let's be honest.
It's true.
Okay, so if that comes out and they're saying, hey, you cannot play this game on an OG original Xbox, and it blows up, because we want to all play that. So that might push me towards
what I've been
Xbox
wanting to
One
play
X.
that game since they released it on PC. I mean, that's what I was on Twitch watching. Every time I was on Twitch, I was watching PUBG, man.
That's an example. I mean, if I was Microsoft, I would push to locking that up as an exclusive. That's one of the biggest games on Twitch right now. It's sold over 6 million copies. It's growing like a mother. If you lock that up, that's going to sell consoles. That's going to sell Xbox One X's.
It will. I mean, I wish. I mean, I'm going to get an X eventually, like I said, but I don't know if I'd buy it just for that game.
That's what I'm saying. So it's stuff like that. That's not even a first party, but that's an example of a game that they can lock up that would sell consoles, because they need those. They need to have stuff. Back in the day, 360 was banging like titles out. They were having
Oh,
Gears.
man.
Gears was fresh.
Yeah.
Halo, everything. Mass Effect at one point was an exclusive for Xbox. So what happened to that? They need to go back to that. Okay.
I think they bled. I mean, let's be honest. I think they bled all those franchises dry. You know, honestly, and I think that they I don't know. Like, we all make fun of Nintendo because all Nintendo does is come out with, you know,
Mario Brothers?
Mario, Zelda, and we make fun of them for it.
But they
I
sell,
think-
man.
But they sell, and I
They sell,
think
dude.
how many iterations of Halo can you make? Halo Wars, Halo 5.
Nothing's ever gonna live up to Mario.
Bombed.
Like nothing.
But you know what I'm saying though. Like I think they're bleeding those dry, and I think they need to have some new ideas. And anytime they come out with a new idea, they trash it. And so, I mean, that's really where it comes down to. I think, you know, they get all this stuff from third party. They know that it's a more social and a more competitive, you know, community. So I think
I'm
focusing on that really, which is a shame.
I think
first party time.
we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens in the next 2 or 3 years, and what Phil has in his back pocket is, does he have a huge bomb he's gonna drop on all of us, or are we gonna be dissatisfied? I hope there's a big, huge ass bomb in his back pocket in 2 or 3 years that he drops on everybody, and we're gonna get all these exclusive, all these new IPs. I mean, I think one of the games I'm most excited for is Anthem, and but you know that I think is coming out maybe next fall, but you know, in this day and age, that could be pushed till 2019. We never know. Like,
and the thing is I don't know. I just want Microsoft to be what they were when they were 360, man. I want them to show, because they're $1 billion company. Let's be honest, man. They need to flex their muscles. I mean, they're making money off of Xbox. They don't need to, you know, be lottie-dottie and kumbaya around a fireplace like the execs are, you know. They need to, you know, be cutthroat sometimes. Like Anthem, for example. We don't know what kind of exclusivity they have for that. They don't, you know, like, it could be just
they
gear.
haven't said. Right.
So
Right.
it could be, you know, with Sony, for example, with Destiny, they locked that down, dude. They got exclusive guns and strikes for like 2 years now. I mean, come on. So that's the kind of stuff that I want to see, dude. So it's
Well, could
interesting.
you imagine
I mean,
if that
Nintendo,
game isn't exclusive, it ends up being exclusive?
that'd be crazy.
That's a bomb, and that's huge. People would buy People would buy an Xbox for that game. At least I think so. And that.
So I don't know, man. The Nintendo situation's kind of opened my eyes when it came to what video games are. You know, people were talking about power because when the Xbox OG dropped, it was hitting games at 720p. You know, and then the PlayStation was at 1080, and that's all we saw. We saw side by sides on IGN every day. Now Xbox is kind of overcompensating. They're like, "Oh, we're the powerful one," you know. Buy our console.
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly. I think
like,
that's
well, people
exactly
aren't worried about that much anymore. That narrative just kind of died off.
Right.
You know?
And also to get back to the whole 360 era, I think what made the whole 360 era as good as it was kind of revolutionary. You know what I mean? Like, they really focused on the online and in the gamer, really. You know, when the PS3 came out, I mean, they kind of
focused on
had the
having
party,
a community,
right? And they kind of had the party. But they focused on their first party games and stuff like that. It was really competitive. But with the 360 era, I think they really focused on the gamer, the games, and that experience. And like you said, it was a beast. It blew up. And I think with the one, when they named it the one, what was it? It's going to be your one thing for all the entertainment you ever need, which is, you know, TV and everything else. I think they kind of shifted their focus, and I think they still have their focus there. But like you said, now that they got trashed for not having a powerful console, now it's like, oh, now they're trying to overcompensate. Oh man, we now look at our new console that's coming out. It's the most powerful console ever. and
Mhm.
but what can you do on that console? They should have just kept it game oriented from the beginning, and like that just said, the Xbox One was a mess from the beginning. That's 100% true, and that's why, because I don't think they really focused on games.
So the bottom line, what happened, and this is straight facts. This is the truth. Okay, Xbox One was a failure in the beginning because they had a peripheral that was a failure. The Kinect was a failure. It drew from the power. It was less power. They made the console less powerful because they had to pay for the Kinect, right?
Right.
So you had a console that was $500 that was less powerful, and then you had the PlayStation that was $400 more powerful. At that time, they didn't have as many games, but that's what it developed into because that's all people saw, the price point, and that's why it took them to make the S to balance the price point out, and they phased out the Kinect. So that, and then they talked about TV, sports on E3, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that all that was the perfect storm for PlayStation to get where they are. Xbox isn't going to catch up to PlayStation. That's not what we need to focus on. We need to focus on just getting back to what we were doing before, and that's games, and that's having stuff that people want to play, right? Agree on that? I think this was an awesome conversation. Right now with the time-wise, I don't know where it is. I can't see the time, but it's been a great podcast. I want to thank you guys for coming on this podcast. I want to, Death Mobile, I want to thank you for being here, and I want to thank you for participating. We're all passionate about gaming,
Thanks,
and that's
man.
why we come here. We like talking about this stuff, and we want you to be here for more podcasts. We're going to try to get on a more regular schedule so you guys can come check us out. Can you guys
hit us up online, Death Mobile?
Yeah, we can. My gamer tag is Saltiest Gaming, all one word. If you want to play, what's your guys' info, social media, and everything else? So they can
Shameless Games. The L's a 1.
Gamer tag is Nick Fury. I just typed it in the chat, and then my Twitter, I'll type that in the chat as well. But it's the same as my gamer tag, just one word.
Yeah. Name, YouTube, obviously, Saltiest Gaming. My Twitter's a little bit different. I think we're already friends on there and stuff like that. Gamer tags there. We're open to playing with new people, meeting new people. That's what Xbox is about. We play all kinds of different games. So anyway, you got anything last words to say before we get out of here?
I want the future to be bright, and all we can do is wait.
Okay.
What Shameless said. I mean, that's pretty much it. All we can do is wait. Till the meantime, we have some games coming out. But, future looks bright, but we're just going to have to wait and see what happens.
Okay. Good. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us. This is Saltiest Gaming. We're going to be signing out here. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll catch you guys later.
Later.
Lates.